All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are doing homework for 417. So, last lesson of the chapter. You should be getting ready for the test soon. All right. For number 67 here, it says that it gives us a rule. We have to graph it, and we can't do a table. So, graphing without a table. So the first thing we're going to have to do is notice that our rule is a little bit out of order. So I'm going to start by putting it in the right order. We know that our x number always comes first, and I need to take whatever sign is in front of it with it. So negative 2x, right? That's all one term, plus 3. Okay, so now I have my rule in the correct order. So I know I always start at my y-intercept, which is this 3 right here. So I'm just going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. That's on my y. Ooh, sorry, I lost my spot. Okay, right here, and that's going to be my first point. Okay. Then I know that my line is decreasing because I see this negative sign. So I know it's going to slope, or it should slope down this way. Okay. So I start at my points. I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2, and then over to the left one because I need my line to decrease. Okay. I'm going to go up 2 again, over 1. Oh, sorry, man. These are really, really tiny. So from far away, it's kind of hard to see it. All right, now I can't go up and over anymore, but I can decrease it this way. So I can go down 2, and instead of going to the left, right, I'm going to go to the right to make my line continue in that straight line. So then over 2, or down 2, over 1, right, and I can just keep decreasing this line as far as I wanted to. Then I'm going to put my line through the points, that arrow on there. Okay, so I have it graphed, so we should be all set there. For the next one, I have y equals 2x, and since there's nothing, right, there's not like a plus whatever number right there, I know that I'm starting at 0. That's what that point tells me. When there's nothing there, I start at 0. Then it tells me I'm increasing, right? There's not a negative out front, so I know my line is going to increase as it goes. And I know it's going to increase by 2, so I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2, over 1. Up 2, oh man, 1, 2, over 1. Okay. Up 2, 1, 2, over 1. Okay, if I want to decrease it or make it kind of go in the other direction, I can go 1, 2 down and over 1. 1, 2 down and over 1. Okay, and you can kind of see my line forming. I'm going to go ahead and connect my points. Makes a nice straight line. Put my arrows through it. If I wanted to draw my growth triangle, right, I totally could. There's my 2. Here's my 1. Ta-da. Okay. Number 69. For this tile pattern, we're given a rule, right there. So y equals 6x plus 4, where it's telling us that x is the figure number, y is the number of tiles. And we're asked which figure number, so I'm looking for a figure number, has 40 tiles in it. So if the x is representing the figure number, that means I don't know what that is, right? Because this is telling me how many tiles I have. So that tells me I need to plug this 40 in for the y, because that's the number of tiles. So y 40 equals, then the rest of it will stay the same, 6x plus 4. And now I'm just going to solve for x. So I know I'm going to subtract 4 on each side, right? Because we start by trying to get our numbers over onto one side, and I already have my x's here. So, and they're positive, which I like keeping positive x's. So I'm going to subtract 4 on each side. When I do that here, let's see, I get 36 equals 6x. Oops, why did I write 3? I said 6. Come on. Oh, sorry, guys. I was holding that sneeze for a long time. Okay. Now I need to get x by itself. So I'm going to divide by on both sides because I'm technically multiplying here. So I have to do the opposite. Divide by 6. Divide by 6. 6 goes into 36 6 times. And I know 6 divided by 6 is 1. So I can just have x. All right. So this tells me that figure 6 will have 40 tiles. Okay, just like that. All right, flipping it over. Just one problem, well, like I guess 3, but mainly one problem on this back side. So it says that we need to find the area and the perimeter or circumference, right? Some of them are circles, so there's circumference for each figure. I like to draw pictures to help me visualize what this looks like. So I have a circle, kind of a poor circle, but it's a circle with a radius of 3. And remember, a radius starts in the center of the circle and goes out to any edge. And it would be the same depending on what, no matter what edge you pick. And it says it's 3 centimeters. Okay, so I just label that on there. All right, so let's find, I don't know, area first. We know our formula for area equals pi r squared. And the pi we know is 3.14. You can use your pi key if you would rather, but I just like to shorten it, and then I don't have a really long decimal. Plugging in my radius, right, it tells me that was 3, and then squared. According to order of operations, I have to do my squaring before I do my multiplying. So 3.14 stays. And then I have to take 3 times 3. Remember, the exponent tells us how many times we take the base number times itself. So I'm multiplying it twice. 3 times 3 is 9. And then I can go ahead and multiply 3.14 times 9. Punch that in your calculator. And you'll get a decimal, 28.26. We always have to label it centimeters, and area is always in square units. So I have to say centimeters squared. So right here is my area. All right, so since this is a circle, I know I need circumference. So circumference equals pi times diameter. So again, we're substituting 3.14. And then my diameter, it's not the same as the radius, right? A diameter goes through the entire circle from one end through the center to the other end. So I know that I have a radius of 3. I know I have a radius of 3 over here. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So my diameter is 6. All right, then I just punch this in my calculator, 3.14 times 6, and I get 18.84. I don't know, yours may be longer if you use the pi key. And then this is just in centimeters. Circumference is not in square centimeters. It's just going around the circle, whereas area is like the whole shaded in circle. All right, so that one's done. Next one, circle with a diameter of 10 feet. So again, draw my picture, circle. Diameter, meaning I'm going through the center of the circle, right? From end to end. Okay, so that's different than the radius that was up there. And it told us that this is 10 feet. All right, so area first. Area equals pi r squared. We're going to substituting 3.14. Now, it says we have to multiply it by the radius. Well, it doesn't tell me what the radius is, but you can figure it out. If the diameter is 10, then half of that, right, because that would be half from the center to the edge, would be 5. So that tells me that my radius is 5. And then I can't forget to square it. So I have to do my squaring first. So I'm going to leave 3.14 there. 5 times 5 is 25. And then I can just plug this into my calculator. 3.15 times 5, I know, is 78.5. Remember, label feet squared. All right, there is that area. Next up, circumference, pi times diameter. Okay, 3.14. You'll remember that. That's how I remember 3.14, because I just do it over and over and over. All right, times my diameter. It told me my diameter was 10, so I can just plug that one in. And then when we go ahead and multiply this, I mean, it's kind of nice. You can just move the decimal point over, right? So 31.4 when you're multiplying by 10 like that, by 10. All right, and then my label was in feet. So just adding that. And ta-da, that one's also done. All right, now this next one is kind of fun. There's a lot of parts to it. So you're going to see one that's on your test that looks very, very similar to this. So it's important that you understand how to solve it. So we need to find both the area and the perimeter for this. So let's start with the area. You guys know that area of a rectangle, right? We do length, L, times width, right? A equals length times width. It's not a number 1, that's an L. Okay, so that just will tell me this, the area of that rectangle right there. So I know that my length is 22, so I can just plug that in. A equals 22 times, I'm just going to use parentheses instead of, because that kind of looks like an X in algebra. Now, I don't know what my width is, right? It doesn't just spit it out and tell me. But it does tell me that my radius of my circle is 8. That means remember, radius from the center to any edge is going to be 8. So that means that this, right, from the center all the way out to this edge is going to be 8. And also from this center all the way down to here is also 8. Okay, so now I can figure out my width, right? 8 plus 8 is 16. So that tells me that this width, right, both on this side and this side is 16. So I can multiply that then. Okay, and this is A equals, okay, so now I can multiply 22 times 16. And when I do that, I have 352 feet squared, remember? Okay, so this is like the first part. I just go ahead and underline it so I remember, like, in all of this. It's kind of crazy what I have. Then I'm going to solve my area of my circle, right? Because I still have this circle here that I need to find the area of. So we know area equals pi r squared. Okay, so area equals 3.14 for pi. My radius, right, from the center out to any edge is 8, it tells me. So multiplying by 8 and then squaring. Okay, we're going to do our squaring first, our exponent first. So 8 times itself, 8 squared, is going to be 64. And then when I punch this into my calculator, I get 200.96. If you use the pi key, you'll get a longer decimal, just kind of round it. All right, now, this is where most people, they'll just take this answer and they'll add them together and they'll get the wrong answer. And that's because you are double counting this shaded in area that I'm doing right now in there, okay, into your answer, because we counted it for both the area of this rectangle and the area of the circle. So our number would be too large. So you can see that we only have from this rectangle out, we just have half of the circle, right? You guys see that? So what I need to do is I need to take my area, right, and divide it in half to find half of I'm just going to draw that picture too. So half, it's technically the other half of the circle, but the half of the area is going to be whatever this is when I divide it. So when I do that, I know 200 divided in half is 100, and 96 divided in half would be 48 about. So this is my area of my half a circle, okay? Then I'm just going to take these two numbers, right, the area of the rectangle and the area of the half of a circle, and I'm going to add these together, right, add them together. And that equals my area for the shape area. And when I add those together, I get 452.48. We know that this is measured in square feet, so feet squared. Okay, so this right here is my answer for the area up here of this. Okay. All right, next up, we have to find the perimeter, which involves circumference as well. Okay, so let's start by finding the circumference, because we need to find, right, this distance here of half of that circle. So circumference equals pi times diameter. So that would be 3.14 times, remember, don't use 8. 8 is only the radius. We have to take 8 plus another 8 is 16. All right. Then when we multiply these together, we get 50.24. And now that is the circumference, remember, just like down here, for the entire circle. We only want half of the circle, right? We only want this part. So I need to, again, divide this in half. So C equals, when I divide this, 50.2 divided by 2, I get 25.12. Okay, so that is this part of the circumference right there. Okay, then I need to figure out, right, the perimeter. Well, we know that perimeter is like side plus side, right, plus side, however many sides you end up having, right? So, well, I know my top side is 22. So I'm going to say 22 plus, I know that this width, right, we found out before was 16. My bottom width is still going to be 22. And now my circumference, I already figured out what this distance was around the circle, plus 25.12. And then I can just punch this in my calculator, right? And when I add those all up, I should get 85.12 feet. Remember, perimeter is not in square feet, it's just labeled in the unit. So that is my perimeter. All right. If you still have questions, I know that's a lot of different steps. Please ask them and I can help clarify. Thanks for watching.